Saturday today, and I really feel and crave a self-care day, and I thought today will be a really good day to do that because I got my period yesterday, and so usually the second day I feel much better but still a bit of meh. So I think today is a good day to read a lot and maybe tidy up a thing, and it's beautiful outside, so I definitely will go for a walk. So I wrote a whole list of things I want to do today, and now I first will have breakfast and decided on a chocolate cake and a plum, which is really good. And for my no BS weight loss program, I'm working on leaving bites behind, and I realized on my chocolate cake this is so easy because like the end of the chocolate cake is a bit dry, so it's so easy to just take that away and put it on the side. I'm definitely gonna eat that. But yeah, today is a good day. It's 10 a.m. now. I ate my breakfast, I've read a bit in my attached book, and I think now I will go for a walk and I will listen to my No BS Weight Loss podcast, which I really enjoy. Corinne is on fire. I love her approach. She's very in your face. I'm back from my walk, and what I really enjoy now is to have an own section in my notes app to write down like little nuggets of wisdom I get from the podcast. And today's quote was, "Just because your brain offers you personal pain doesn't mean you need to keep it." And that was actually in reference to a member who said like, "Oh, this is so much work with the No BS weight loss course. I have a full-time job and a family and I don't have time." And then she said, doing your plan takes maybe 5 minutes. And somebody answered on that it makes feel her like a failure when Corinne says it only should take 5 minutes, but it takes her longer. And that's when she said, just because your brain offers you personal pain and makes you feel like you're a failure doesn't mean that you have to keep thinking this kind of thought. You could also think, how could I decrease the time I use for my plan? Or I'm okay with taking longer. There's so many different thoughts you can think instead that feel way more empowering than feeling like you're not good enough or what you're doing is not good enough. We like that one, yeah. This weekend I decided to finish Attached. Are you anxious, avoidant, or secure? How the signs of adult attachment can help you find and keep love. It's a book I borrowed from my friend Elizabeth, and I'm so grateful that I did that because it is such an amazing book. Got me thinking a lot about past relationships, but also friendships, how I'm with my family. The book is talking primarily about 3 attachment styles, the secure one, the anxious, and the avoidant one. There is actually one more, which they almost completely ignore. It's actually the anxious avoidant or fearful avoidant or disorganized attachment style. So when you have a secure attachment style, then you are a person that is quite secure with him or herself. You like to have intimacy, but you also have like low avoidance of like conflicts or talking about your feelings, and you also have like low anxiety. So you don't think about the other person all day long, worrying what's happening with that person, which is a way more thing of anxious people. These are people who want to have intimacy but are very anxious about the relationship, and for them it's very important that their partner is fulfilling certain needs, especially like being quite anxious. They will need somebody who is stable with them. And then we have the avoidant attachment style. That's a person kind of wants to have love, but I think it's a typical person who says, I just haven't found the perfect one. Keeping a person always a bit at distance, sometimes being very passionate and then kind of like pulling away again. And what is so fascinating is that avoidant and anxious people are very attracted to each other. And that's kind of like the worst situation, because it's kind of, they call it like a dance. So the anxious person is approaching the avoidant partner to get their needs met, and then the avoidant partner is pulling away, making the anxious partner even more anxious, often wondering, what have I done wrong, or am I too clingy? And we use different activating and deactivating strategies to stay or to kind of like pull away from the relationship and from our partners. What's interesting with my attachment style is the anxious avoidant. That is really tricky because you do both. You can be anxious, but you can also be avoidant. So you have a need for intimacy, but at the same time you're also very anxious. And I think for the partner of an anxious avoidant, it is very confusing, because you can be very interested in somebody and then you can distance yourself again, and that can have different cycles. I definitely can see that I would be anxious before I'm entering a relationship, and then I get more avoidant as soon as I am in one. So that was definitely very interesting to read. It was heavy to read, I have to say. Like, the book is really nice to read, but for me, thinking about that, it was very heavy. And yeah, I have to say I cried a lot about it. What I miss in the book is an extra chapter just for anxious avoidance, because they're so special. I think they definitely needed their own chapter. And they say, oh, because it's just a small percentage of the population who fall into that, you can benefit from information on both the anxious and avoidant attachment styles. Thank you, but we need more. So yeah, that's kind of like my thoughts. But I think if you have troubles to understand your previous relationships or your current relationship, then this book might be mind-blowing. I'm wondering if I'm the only one who's just doing one side and then doing something else while this is drying, and then do the other side, so I still can do something and not just sitting around. Like, I could just watch a movie and wait and it would go shorter, but yeah. I think I will write down my expenses in my budget planner while I'm waiting. I'm very pleased with my self-care day. I did so many different things. I finished my book, I ate good food, I love to plan for the next weeks, and yeah, I went for a walk, I talked to my family. Actually, I even tidied up the bathroom, and just the feeling of like a clutter-free bathroom just feels so freeing that I think I want to work on like decluttering in April. We'll see how that goes, but yeah, nails are done. I think that was a very successful self-care day. I definitely feel like I recharged some batteries and also had some time to think and journal. I hope you enjoyed watching, and have a great Sunday, and I see you next week. Bye bye.